Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes of all teenagers, hi! Oh man, glad I caught that one on the mic. I finally have my voice back. Apologies. I know that I lost it around the time that I had been planning on coming back. So apologies for that. We had a few days where I was doing well and I was streaming during those days, and then my voice just kind of fell off again as I've been getting over this being sick. It's weird. It's very strange. I only get sick, like, really bad about once a year, and usually it waits until, like, winter time, sometime when you expect to get sick, for me to get sick again. But we're back. We're back, and we've got some other things going on today, all right? I've got some other plans, I've got some other things I need to talk about that are pretty important to me, at the very least. Some changes that are going to be happening over here, and a refocusing of other content, because I've got other things I want to do that I don't really have time to do if I keep to the very rigid schedule that I've set for myself. Which, of course, I'm good with rigid schedules, but we'll get into all of that. Hello, Ranger Bravo. Nice to have you. Nice to have you. Glad you're here, actually. Wanted to make sure you caught this and didn't have to catch it on a VOD or, just miss it entirely. So, it's nice to have you. Nice to have you. Let's go ahead and jump on into the game. So very quickly, I'm going to be playing a lot of Minecraft today because it's kind of the only thing that I can focus on while I have to talk about what I'm going to be talking about today. But you get to watch some of the Minecraft stuff that I do. I guess I'll probably go ahead and show you guys around while I go ahead and talk about things as well. Why not? I want to give us a little bit of time to get the normal crowd in, which is to say the 2 or 3 people who usually show up. gonna have you guys hang out, and then I can go ahead and explain that stuff, because all this stuff is going up in a VOD anyway. But I've got some content changes I want to make that I'll get a little bit more into. But first, let's go ahead and show you guys around this Minecraft world. I guess the short intro to this is a Minecraft realm that my friend set up. Oh man, it's got to be like about 2 years ago. Went ahead and set this up. I am very consistent when it comes to playing Minecraft stuff that my friend set up. It's one of those games I've been into for nearly as long as it's been around, and I can just sink hours and hours into it and always find something new or something interesting to do. So it's a great sort of shut off game for me if I just need to focus on what I'm talking about and have something going on in the background, because my brain is destroyed that way. This is like the game for it, But before we get into like the heavy topics, which I don't even know how heavy the topic is, I am probably being a little bit more dramatic than I need to. I just I put a lot of emphasis on my own work. All right, so might as well start from all the way up here. So we've got a bit of an overview here. This is the little village my friends set up, all of their houses on this side of the river. We got them all. I've contributed a little bit to this. For instance, they wanted a bank built, so I went ahead and built them a bank. I've also done a couple of landscaping things. There used to be a massive gaping hole right here next to the barn that they just never really got around to closing up, and it was bothering me. So I decided, well, I'm gonna fix that. That sounds kind of annoying. So went ahead and fixed that, and they've got all their stuff over here. Most of these guys have been my friends for years and years. Like the guy who built this guy, this house over here. I've been friends with him since like 5th grade. It's an old group. It's a very old group. But yeah, they've got all their houses over here. Some of them love to get into the building aspect. Some of them just like to play so that they can so they can progress through the game and, you know, try and beat it as quickly as possible and just hang out while doing so. But you know, for me, it's a great relaxing game, as I'm sure it is for like most people that play it today. For most people, it seems to be a pretty relaxing game. Yeah, they've got all their stuff over here. They got their barn, their very efficient fields. Actually, this is the largest number of farm blocks of soil that you can have at any individual point actually continuously farmed, other than this one, because they don't like to build fences for some reason. But I wanted to make sure I had plenty of room to build my structures, so across the river and the bridge that I did go ahead and build, we've got all my stuff over here. We've got a cherry tree farm because I wanted some cherry wood. In fact, all of the trees except for the oak trees and some of the birch trees are not from this area. So I had to go and find all these trees, bring samples back, and build up a small forest for myself. So I had all the trees, all the wood I wanted to build whatever it was going to be. But let me try and give you an aerial tour for this. There we go. So over here, we've got my turtle farm, because turtles, whenever they go to hatch eggs, they always go to where their eggs were hatched. So I had to search out far and wide for some turtle eggs that hadn't hatched yet, brought them back over here, and waited around until they did hatch. And so I've got some turtles in my little turtle farm. A little turtle farm over here. There should be 4 of them right now, because I did go ahead and give some to one of my friends because they wanted to build an aquarium. Yeah, we got 4 turtles in here, and then over here, this little section is the turtle hatchery. If I had any eggs right now, they would spawn on. They would all spawn here on the shore, and then they would jump into the water right here. And then until they grew, they couldn't really make it out of the. They couldn't make it out of their little pen. But as soon as they grew up, they evacuated the pen into the larger enclosure. And so yeah, they've got all this space. It was a lot of fun to build. When I did build this, I had shaders because I don't have any shaders for 1.21 yet. But yeah, looks great with shaders. I wish I had some I could show you with. But yeah, all these trees here I brought over for the different, the various builds I have created and am yet to still create. We got every tree that you can find in the overworld, except for the whatever that one's called, the mangrove tree, because they just don't really fit along the shoreline, and I don't really care to build anything with mangrove right now. If that changes, I've got the little seedlings to go with it. But over here, we've got a train station I built. I saw a picture, just looking up, train station in Minecraft. Saw a picture of a really cool train station. Thought, oh, I could probably build that, and then just copied it as close to brick for brick as I could. And then on down here, you actually get the subway station, where down here we've got a train from my territory back to their territory on the far end, because sometimes they don't want to have to just walk all the way, which I get, but still, like, it's just walking, guys. It's not that difficult. So yeah, we got a train station. That was a lot of fun to set up. Took a very long time, but it does operate, and I've got a couple other places I want to build stops into. But then we get to my farms over here. I've got my all the different animal farms I need, and a chicken a chicken gun, so that I can load up with eggs and automatically go ahead and I can automatically spawn a bunch of chickens in here, so that I don't have to worry about breeding them all the time, because that gets very boring. than just standard farms for the 3 other major major animals and all my crops. But then we've got my house, which took a long time to finish. Took a very, very long time to finish. Hello, Magnus. Hello, Magnus. Oh, well, thank you very much for the follow, but I do not do the follow for follow kind of stuff, and I'm not really interested in joining any Discord groups right now. Thank you very much, though. This is the house I got here. Let me see if I can get a nice aerial view for you. There we go. It took me a long time to finish because the roof, in particular, needed to age properly. I went ahead and collected all of the copper I needed, and then waited for each and every single one of these blocks to fully oxidize before I finished up the roof. It was a long process, but I think it came out very, very well. I love the oxidized copper look as a building material. And I started building out a few other things. I wanted to go ahead and build out a village for each of the different with a specific house for each of the different types of jobs that a villager could have. So right there we've got the tavern and the inn, which has beds and all kinds of stuff in case, you know, someone joins the server and doesn't yet have supplies. Then over there we've got the shepherd's place. He's got some sheep behind him. And got the town hall. We've got the town hall here. Over on the shoreline, past my house, back this way, we've got the fisherman's hut over here and his boathouse. Owen, his fishery rather. Sorry. And then way back this way, we've got a massive barn that was a combination of 2 barn ideas that I saw just looking up, you know, barn in Minecraft. I thought, ooh, I like both of those shapes. Why not put them together? So we've got the rounded A-frame roof, and then on the sides we've got the lower incline. Alright, you are not going to leave me alone. There we go, jeez. And I've been slowly working on that. The difficulty is that I need to be able to either find villagers and bring them all the way back, which I don't really have a quick process for doing, or I need to wait for zombie villagers to show up and I need to heal them, which again, I do not have a quick process for doing. So it's taken a while. It's taken a while, but we go ahead and jump all the way up this way, and you'll see the castle at Eisenfurt, which is the name of the town that I'm working on. Castle Eisenfurt, as well as the chapel that we have here. There we go. Okay, really shouldn't be that difficult, but yeah, got a nice little church here. There's a couple changes I need to make to it. For instance, I should bring the guardrail down here actually, because because there are certain things I've got more experience with now that I didn't at the time. That's like, oh, that would make more sense if I were designing this to operate close enough to a real church. But yeah. This was a very fun build for me. Really, all of these have been very interesting for me to figure out. But I'm currently still working on Castle Eisenfurt, but taking a break from the large castle compound, I had a couple other things I was working on. But let me show you how the castle compound looks. We've got a bunch of towers, of course. Then we've got the main keep of the castle. And over here is going to be the barracks, this section right here. The internal wall here is going to go up probably 2 more floors up to where that little section is right there. that creates a secondary layer of internal defense, as well as a place to sort of just put a bunch of cool defensive-looking structures. Hey, Jennifer Kane, thank you very much for the follow. Thank you very much. It's very kind. Hope you're having a good time listening to me ramble about the Minecraft stuff while I prepare myself to have to talk about some content changes here. All right, let me go ahead. There we go. And then that is going to become the keep once I've got a couple of other things I'm working on taken care of. But yeah, it's coming along pretty well. Took a long time to collect all the copper for this build, but it was definitely worth it. I think it looks great so far. And it's not completed. This tower over here is going to be the donjon, D-O-N-J-O-N, not dungeon. It's a different thing. Although, you know, the dungeon comes from the donjon, but the donjon was whatever the largest tower if you were going for, you know, a walled castle, or in some cases it just was the keep itself if you're talking about an early enough version of a castle. But that's all castle nerdy stuff that you were probably not here for today. Yeah, we've got all this stuff that we're working on, and then one major project I've recently been taking care of because it was a request from some of my friends. If we head back out this way towards the north, there we go, at the top left you can see facing north, that's where we're heading out here. This is another one of my friends' homes. If we continue heading out north for quite a while, back where we were at the start of this, then I'll show you what the last thing, the thing I'm currently working on, is. But I'm currently just playing vanilla Minecraft. If you wanted to know, this is a friend's realm. If I didn't go ahead and explain that at the start. All right, almost there. Here we go. Wonderful. So this beautiful structure over here is a fortress that I'm building on top of the end portal. Because it took me a long time to find the end portal after my friends had already been there and killed the Ender Dragon and, you know, all the normal stuff. Because I don't play Minecraft at Mach 10 speed. I like to progress as I'm interested in doing so. But some of my friends think the only way to have fun in the game is to beat the game in under 3 days, which is very generous saying 3 days. 3 days is quite a long time for them. But I thought, you know what? To make it easier for other people to go ahead and find, and to create a little bit of a safe haven if they didn't bring any of their own materials, how about I build a fortress out here? I can put a bunch of bedrooms in it. I can, you know, make sure that there's farms around for materials they might need, and just some extra stuff, because that's how I like to play the game. If I'm gonna make a communal use thing, I want it to be as useful as possible. But yeah, great little location for an end portal to show up as well. We've got massive cave structures underneath this, lots of natural resources around, and it's really easy to get a variety of trees in the area that I can just, you know, make these miniature forests out of. But yeah, this is what we have been working on. And it's all done in survival, which a lot of people think, well, that's absurd. How could you do all this? And I try to remind them, I'm not the best builder in the world. This is kind of just, I don't know, I think, oh, this might be an interesting way to do something, and then I test it out a couple of times with relatively cheap resources, and then I'll just go to town, figure it out. I happen to like it. I happen to think it's come together pretty well so far. But yeah, we are back where we started. I've got some things to go ahead and throw in different locations, so let's get that taken care of. want to put you away. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's go down here towards the end portal. There we go. They were silly, and they had a staircase going all the way up from the end portal to the to the surface, and I thought that is the slowest possible way you could get to and from the end portal. Who would want to do that all the time? So, you know, just make a nice big hyper lane. Just drop them in. And then a classic elevator all the way back up. Not a redstone one. The redstone elevators were always fun to me, but I was never good enough with redstone to build those. No. I had a couple friends actually, who were amazing with redstone, and I could never figure it out to that degree. I was never terrible with it, but I was never good enough to do some of the crazier things back in older Minecraft. Let alone now, where 90% of the cool stuff is command block related. It's not really something I was ever a master of. But it was fun. It was very fun. So I think the first thing I gotta say is we're gonna be taking a little bit. Well, not a little bit. We're going to be taking a step back from the Fallout content. Now, let me go ahead and explain what I mean by that. I'm still going to be working on the Fallout settlements. I'm still going to be working on the construction of each of those. But I think for my own sake, because I've got a lot of life things going on right now, for my own sake, what I want to do is I want to take a step back from having to actively work on those 3 hours a day, 6 hours a week at the minimum, because occasionally, if it's some menial background work, I will do that off camera, or if a save is corrupted, like I almost did for the Officer's Lounge. If a save is corrupted, I'm going to have to go back and rebuild that structure again, which is, again, going to take another 3 hours out of my day. I need to step back from that because I've got some family trouble that has sprung up and some more life stuff that kind of just needs to get handled. Now, content is not going away. I still plan on streaming as close to my old schedule as I can, but it's not going to be, Fallout content 24. It's not going to be Fallout content 3 hours a day, 6 hours, 6 days a week. I want to switch it up a bit. I want to have the ability to create that kind of variety, so that I don't get burnt out on this, so that hopefully you guys don't get burnt out watching me, and realistically, just so that I can do other things that I'm interested in, because I love Fallout. Fallout's a great game. I love the amount of control I have over the kinds of things I can create with all the mods that I use, but there are other things in the world than just Fallout, and I want to be able to play those as well. I'd rather not pigeonhole myself, if at all possible, because I know that for my own psyche, I am not great at just doing one thing forever, all of the time, without breaks and without really any variety to it, because eventually, no matter how much I love that thing, eventually it becomes extremely tedious, and it becomes nothing except a pain to work on, and I don't want the things I love to be painful things to do. So I would rather take a bit of a step back from it for a while. Now you're still going to be getting the settlement tour videos. If I finish a settlement and I haven't streamed anything of it, no matter, I'll still put together the settlement tour video. If anything, this allows me to put more time and effort into the individual settlement projects, because I'm not keeping myself to as rigid of a structure when it comes to how all of the when all the settlements need to be completed. But it also allows me to focus on other types of content that I'm very interested in doing, and I feel like I have a calling towards, that I need to explore and I need to iron out some of the details for. And I can't really dedicate the time to doing that if I haven't if I haven't already gone ahead and made sure that my other obligations, specifically the Fallout stuff, are either taken care of or are no longer going to be in the way of these things. Again, I'm not getting rid of Fallout content entirely. The settlement tours will still be here, but I cannot hold on. I cannot currently go ahead and guarantee that I'm going to be able to work on Fallout stuff all of the time. So the big things that have been going on. How about I switch over to the camera for this, because I'm not really doing anything right now in Minecraft. I'm just gonna go hang out in the fortress and then just stand there for a bit while I explain some of this stuff. So the big stuff going on right now in my own life. If you guys were here last week, or when any of the times that I've mentioned in the last couple of weeks, I have been working. I've been trying to get over being sick here. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice right now. I certainly feel it still a little bit. I'm right on the tail end of this stuff, but I was sick for like 2 weeks, and it's been really annoying being sick for 2 weeks. It started off. In fact, I talked about it on stream, how I could feel myself. Oh man, I'm getting sick. It's probably going to get pretty bad here in the next couple of days. That was, I think, the second or third episode of the Boston Airport build. I was talking about how, oh man, I feel like crap right now. This is not going to be good. It's going to be pretty bad the next week or so. And well, it got pretty bad the next day, which was lots of fun. Love to have that happen. But then about a week passed where I was simply unable to talk at all, because anytime I tried to speak for more than 10 seconds at a time, I was just coughing away. It was terrible. Wasn't really doing anything. Was mostly in my bed just trying to sleep through the day, because if I can't talk, I can't really engage with people, and if I can't really engage with people, then how am I supposed to do like 90% of the things that you need to do on a daily basis? So I told all my family and friends, hey, I'm basically going to be just hiding away, trying not to get people sick, and just recovering. They were very gracious about everything, and so I basically did that for a week. And then a few days I was doing really good. I came back. We had, I think, we had about 3 streams where I was doing really good. I was glad to be back, super on board, super excited about all the Fallout stuff, and that was great. I'm still got some ideas going for the Boston Airport stuff, but then I lost my voice again, and it was very strange. I lost my voice for another day. There wasn't a lot of strain that I have been putting on it in the last week, but I did lose my voice there for a day or two, and at the same time, I had another wrench thrown into the mix here with some family stuff that's come up. My younger brother, who I don't know how often I talk about him on here. I know I don't get too detailed into a lot of the family stuff that goes on, but this has directly gone ahead and impacted how much of the content stuff I can work on. My younger brother, who's recently gone off to college. He sprained his ankle. Well, no, not sprained. He dislocated his ankle, and he fractured his tibia last week while he was on the field practicing for the upcoming football season. He's a great football player, and like I don't have much of I don't derive a lot of entertainment from watching sports in general, and I'm not the best. I'm not the one to talk to if you wanted to talk sports. But when I see him play, I recognize the skill and the talent that he has in doing so, and it's awesome to see the amount of talent that he has for the game. And it sucks that he fractured his tibia and dislocated his ankle recently. So, and this is all just a few days. This was last Thursday. This is just a few days before his school year started. His school year starts this week, in fact. So I've had to go ahead and, besides losing my voice there, I also had to go ahead and make sure that I was available to go ahead and take care of some stuff here at home, as in town, because I don't live with my family, but they're in town. I had to go ahead and make sure I was able to take care of some things in town while my parents went off to go and visit my brother at school, to go and help him move around, to get him to and from doctor's appointments, and then of course to move him temporarily back here to our hometown while he's recovering, before he can actually go back get back to school and hopefully play. I don't know. We're really hoping he can play. We're praying for his recovery, and right now, in fact, they're on their way home from a doctor's appointment. He got some MRIs taken. He's getting some paperwork taken care of so that he's all good. If everything goes well, he will have surgery this Thursday that will hopefully send him on the road to recovery. But right now, he is in tons of pain, and it's extremely difficult. And I've had to make sure that I can put aside my other responsibilities to you guys and to a bunch of other stuff that I've got going on in my life, in case my family needs me to go ahead and take care of things at the house, or they need me to go ahead and run and take care of an errand, whatever it happens to be. Which is the right thing to do. Like, they're not in any way, shape, or form to go ahead and, they're not to be blamed for anything, of course. I'm not here trying to say, oh, well, this sucks and I blame my brother for fracturing his tibia. Like, no, that would be stupid. That would be absurd. But during these 2.5 weeks, I've had a lot of time to think and pray about, okay, what am I meant to be doing with all of this stuff? How do I go ahead and move forward? Because I am extremely thankful for all the time and energy you guys have gone ahead and put into just watching the things that I've made so far, and it means the world to me that you would find me, of all people, very interesting to listen to, or at least mildly interesting enough that you would want to follow me here on Kick or subscribe to the channel or whatever it happens to be. It means a lot. Hold on. It really does mean a lot to me, and I don't really know how to explain. I don't have the words to explain exactly how much it means to me that you guys would be interested in all of this. Over the last week, I've seen all the different comments that have gone up on the VODs. I haven't been able to return some of those comments yet, but I will try and get to them if I can. And all the subscriptions that can continue to come in over on the VODs channel on YouTube, and it's just crazy to me. You guys are watching me, and I have been for a while now praying, okay, what can I do? What is the right direction that I'm supposed to be taking these things? I've made no secret about this before. It's in my name, right? I am a Christian, both by name and actually as a believer. I'm a Christian, and I deeply believe that the skills that I have, the gifts that I've been given, I need to use in order to perform whatever task it is, whatever it is that God would have me do with all of these skills. There's a lot of theology and stuff that goes into that, but the short of it is that I have been given a love for and a drive to make content. And I have been given the tools to do so, all the training necessary, and a long time to practice a good amount of the skills that I have today. Others I certainly could use some more work with, but they're sort of secondary. And so for someone in my position, someone with my upbringing, of course, my thought is going to be, okay, what am I supposed to do with these things? I recognize that it's not because I'm great that I have been given these things, that you guys are watching me. It's not because I'm amazing that you guys are watching the things that I make. It's not because I'm, such a wonderful person that you guys have found me entertaining. As much as I'm sure it would be easier for me to say that, it's definitely not the case, and I wouldn't want to lie to you guys or to myself about that kind of thing. So if it's not that, then what is it? And over this last week, or 2 weeks, but a lot of the work has gone in this last week. I have been praying and seeking a lot of advice about what to do and where to go with all of this. And I had kind of a light bulb moment. Okay, well, why don't I just do that? Why don't I just talk about Christian stuff on YouTube? And then, of course, immediately the extremely analytical and rational side of me said, that does not seem like a great idea. How can you be sure that that is going to work? How can you be sure that that kind of thing is a stable source of income, but more importantly, is something that would actually be seen on YouTube? Because you don't know what the algorithm's going to do. You don't know if tomorrow they're going to say Christian content is no longer allowed because for one reason or another, someone got mad at a person who was Christian and also said something they didn't like. And now all the advertisers want to pull out or something. Like, I don't know. It could absolutely change tomorrow. But I had to calm myself down and remind myself, first of all, that sounds schizophrenic. So stop thinking that way. And second of all, the whole point is to trust that God has given me these gifts and is not going to allow me to drown in the sea of worry. If he's given these things to me, there is a plan with them. And if what he's asking for me to do is to use my gifts to be able to provide the word towards to other people, then he's going to make sure that I can do this. He's not going to ask me to do something that is impossible for me to do without him. Obviously, I need to rely on him, but that's the whole point. I recognize a large number of people that watch these videos, absolutely not Christian. Totally get that. However, this is the thought pattern of how Christian stuff works. So I'm not asking you to believe the things that I've said. I'm simply asking you to understand where the thought patterns come from and how the logic progresses. So, if those are the things if these are the talents that I've been given, immediately I thought, okay, well, if this is what I should be doing, what can I do that would be different, interesting, and actually valuable to performing what God is asking me to do? And so I went about doing a bunch of research. I mean, I was bedridden. What else am I going to do? I've got plenty of time to sit there and watch YouTube videos in between trying to sleep through being sick. So, what else was I going to do? I'm no theologian myself, so I can't really be extremely detailed and come up with my own theological concepts about things. I'm not a priest or a pastor. I haven't been to seminary, so I should not be preaching sermons on things because I don't have the training to do it. And I would feel terrible about people relying on me to be a pastor that they go to, especially if I don't have training for something like that. That seems like extremely shaky ground, and I wouldn't want to misrepresent the scriptures or to misrepresent Christianity as a whole by doing something like that. That just sounds insane. But what can I do? What skills do I have, and what are things that I am passionate about that God has given me a talent for? And the more I thought about it, and the more people who I reached out to and I would message about these things and ask for prayer and guidance for, they came back to me basically all saying, look, you're great at explaining things, you're great at taking difficult concepts and making them very easy for people to understand. And I felt very embarrassed by them saying this because I don't always feel that way. I feel like I can get very long-winded. But I thought about this for a while, and they all basically came back saying similar things. They all came back saying, why don't you do a series or do a YouTube channel? Because they're generally older than me and are not completely up on, the proper terminology for online content. Why don't you do a series where you go ahead and you break some of this stuff down? Why don't you go ahead and take the difficult concepts, break them apart for people, and try and help them understand things? And I felt like, well, that makes a lot of sense. There was a period of time where I ran a school club that was I guess it was an activism club. It was a conservative nonprofit that whose goal was specifically to explain conservative ideas. We're not going out there trying to force people to believe the things we do. We're not trying to start fights with people. It was just, hey, we want to make sure conservative ideas aren't misrepresented on campus, and we recognize that is possible to do on both sides. So how about we do this? And so my chapter, we went ahead, and my whole goal the whole time I was running it was to go ahead and take large meaty concepts that you would find in social social topics or political discussions or whatever, the super dense topics, and then just break them down every week or two, depending on how large the subject was. There was one time I spent 3 weeks, 2 hours each week, so 6 hours just explaining where the differences between socialism and communism, where they come from, and how they have influenced the United States to this point. And it by the end of it sounded schizophrenic. It sounded very schizophrenic, but none of it was, like an ideological bend to it. It was me just wanting to explain it and why it is something that does not align with more conservative values. And it ended up being a useful tool to some people, which was crazy for me to see. So I thought, okay, well, I could probably do something like this. And so I got to work, coming up with some different designs, working on some different ideas. But now I'm at a place where I have 80% of an idea down. I need to iron out the 20%, and I need a lot of time to work on ironing out that 20%. But I've got 80% of an idea down. Let me go ahead and see if I can pull up There we go. Let me go ahead and see if I can show this to you guys. How would I do this? Yeah, we'll go over here. All right, that might be about right. Let me see here. We want to go to this campaign dev. We want to check out web capture, and we want web capture to be... There we go. Wonderful. Okay, so this is the channel that I've gone ahead and come up with for this stuff. I don't have anything on here yet. I can go ahead and explain some of this stuff as we go along. It shouldn't be too difficult to explain, It says there right there in the banner what it's about. But for those of you who do not know how to pronounce the word here, because I know that not all Christians use all the same language to describe things, and certainly non-Christians are not going to necessarily use the language that Christians do. This is catechesis craft. It's very simple. Talking Christianity, playing Minecraft. Literally just that. It was the whole idea was, okay, I can explain Christian concepts. Very simple I can break down Christian concepts to make them simple, no matter how long the video or how many videos it needs to be. And I want the background video to be something that is easy for people to sit down and watch, or to put on in the background, or to just listen to while they're doing their homework, or, just cooking dinner, or whatever it happens to be. I don't want the visuals to be as important to the overall project itself. So I thought, why not just have playing Minecraft be the video in the background? Because that is something I can do for hours and hours on end. Record 6 hours of footage and split that 6 hours up into a bunch of 30-minute videos that I just use the footage as the background while I go ahead and explain things. And I reminded myself, there's 2 other YouTube channels that do this. So you have to make it, individual, very interesting. And the bend that I'm coming at this from, because there's some great YouTube channels out there that do very similar things. One of the more popular YouTube channels that do this right now is named Redeemed Zoomer. Should be self-explanatory. A Christian who is Gen Z. His whole thing is that he is a Presbyterian, which is a denomination of Christianity. He is a Presbyterian, and he wants to explain Presbyterian concepts as well as several other Christian concepts, but usually Presbyterian concepts, while he's playing Minecraft, which is cool. It's wonderful. But I think at times his work and the work of others that do similar things can be geared significantly explicitly towards a crowd of people who already understand what he's talking about. And there are a lot of misconceptions about Christian ideas out there, so why not break them down? The term catechesis itself means to teach people the rules of, or to explain the law of a specific thing. So it's largely used in Christian circles, mainly Catholic circles, to explain, hey, catechesis is the process by which people are taught what the important tenets of Catholicism and brought into the faith. Now, I myself am not yet Catholic. I'm certainly leaning that direction. I've been going to a beautiful Catholic service every Sunday for the last few weeks at a local parish. But I wouldn't want this channel to have its own sort of religious bend either. This isn't a channel just for Catholics. This isn't an anti-Protestant channel. I come from a Protestant family. This isn't like, oh, just this version of Christianity. That's the only thing I'm going to talk about. No, what I want to do is I want to be able to take a difficult concept or something that is often misunderstood or misrepresented, and I want there to be a tool out there to be able to explain to people, look, the simple answer is this. Here's how the simple answer is constructed. Here's where this comes from. Here's why this is a Christian concept. And here's the evidence to back up this position. And it's not going to be my own evidence. It's going to be me relying on the work of others that have come before me. Again, I'm not a theologian. I'm not going to come up with my own answers for things. I don't have. It takes a lot of pride and a lot of confidence in your own work. Not necessarily bad, but it takes a lot of confidence in your own work to be able to do something like that. And I, by no means, am capable of doing that yet, and probably never will be. But I'm not capable of all of the deep theological concepts, of creating deep theological concepts to go ahead and work with. But I'm really good at reading something, breaking it down, and explaining that thing to other people. So that is the goal of this channel. If it is a largely misunderstood concept, or it's just a basic thing about Christianity, then I want to be able to, I want to have some tool out there that is geared towards people my age, because I know that that's not usually the case, especially with Christian stuff, geared towards people my age, something that is just a simple explanation using modern language to explain what the concept is, or what the position is, or what the Christian answer to something is. Because I have seen a ton of misrepresentation of it in my lifetime, and going generations, oh, sorry about bumping the mic there, generations on now, this has been the case for a long time. So I want to do my part in order to prevent that from happening. And if it changes hearts and minds, even just on little things, like, hey, maybe you had a really terrible experience with a church that your parents forced you to go to when you were a kid, and now you've fallen away. Now you have no interest whatsoever. If a single video of mine has the opportunity to explain, changes your mind in so much as, well, maybe you don't want to get back into church now, but also you don't hate Christians anymore, even though you had a bad experience with one or with a group of them, then it's done its job. It's explained something to you, and it's explained why this is different than what you initially believed it to be, all that kind of stuff. I don't have to my own detriment, I am very scrupulous, which is to say, I point out all of my own flaws significantly more than I necessarily need to, and I do this to myself because I'm a largely very I'm just very uncomfortable with people really giving me a lot of praise for things. In my own personal life, like this is not me trying to fish for compliments or anything. For people who do give them, like in the comments that I have seen, or some of the things that have shown up on stream, it's very kind for you guys to say that, but it is like there is some kind of mental block going on where I basically can't thank you for saying it, but I don't believe it about myself. So this is by no means, trying to stroke my ego or anything. It would just be insane to me if a single one of my videos was able to change one person's mind on an individual subject. Then it will have done its job. That's about it. I feel like these are the skills that I've been given. This is the direction that I should be going with all of this stuff. And that as I continue, hopefully I get better and better at this and can tackle tougher and tougher concepts. I've got a few videos in the work that will be coming out in September. Ultimately, I would like to get one video a week, but I know how long it takes to make these things and how long it takes to research a lot of these things, and to not just research and copy and paste like a description of something, but to explain the thing that I'm talking about in such a way that hopefully makes sense to everybody who's listening. It takes a while, so I'm going to work my way up to it, but eventually I'd like to have this channel produce at least one video a week just explaining simple stuff. Maybe it's breaking down a Bible story. Maybe it's explaining, what does the Bible say about X, Y, or Z thing, and why is that not just the throwaway line that you hear about from pop culture, or that you hear from, on TikTok when someone just says a Bible thing and just says, oh, well, the Bible says this. Okay, well, what's the context behind what they're saying? What are the 30 verses around it, and why did you pick out just the one verse? What is it's not a lot of the things the things that people like to say aren't necessarily the most accurate way to go ahead and say them. If that sentence even made sense. Hopefully it did. But whatever it happens to be, it could be a super complex religious topic that will take 5 videos to break apart and give you a whole explanation of, and then I can make a supercut video. It's just all of those, all 5 of those together. Or it's just something as simple as, who was Jesus? What did he say about himself? And what do Christians believe about him? All that kind of stuff. Anywhere in between. I want to be able to make those kinds of videos because there is a lack of simplified content out there that is designed to be understood by everybody, that hopefully I have the opportunity to provide for you. What I would like from all of you watching is, whether you are or are not religious, as long as you are not against what I have going, what I'm trying to do here, what I would hope for is that I could get your guys' support spiritually. If you guys would be willing to pray for clarity and understanding for me, so that I have a solid grasp on the direction that I'm supposed to go with these things, and and clarity in order to explain all of these things to the best of my ability. I know that not everyone watching me is going to agree with the things that I have to say. I know not everyone watching me is going to be religious at all, and I don't expect you to be. I have never really expected my peers to have the same religious values that I do. I grew up in the Silicon Valley area of California. It was very uncommon for me to come up against someone who was truly deeply Christian and wasn't just, I go to church on Sundays because my family takes me, or, well, my parents my parents are Catholic and therefore I'm Catholic, and it was very rare that I ran into someone or I knew someone personally who was very deeply religious. So no, of course, most of my friends, they were going to have a more surface level understanding of Christian principles that never stopped me from being their friends, and many of them are great friends to this day. So it's not like this isn't, a channel just for Christians. This isn't it's not going to be a fire and brimstone sort of scenario here. This is hopefully a tool that can bridge the gap between the religious and secular communities. That hopefully this is a way that can explain these concepts simply so that people on both sides can feel a lot less tension when trying to discuss either the simple or the complex topics and everything in between. It sounds like a lofty goal to me. I don't know how lofty of a goal that sounds to all of you, but it certainly can be very intimidating to me, and so I would hope that I could get some of your prayers for all this stuff. But that is the thing. If you would like to subscribe to the Catechesis Craft channel, because the first video will be coming out in September, if you'd like to subscribe, go ahead and do so. It's spelled like the way it shows on screen, and I'll make sure to put it in. I'll make sure to put it in the VOD description. I'll put the username, the @ in the channel description, or not the channel description, in the VOD description. Oh man, I was really trying to not cough into the microphone while I was talking to you. Yeah, I'll make sure to put the @ in the channel description if any of you guys are interested. Hopefully you guys are. But with all of my focus going towards this, I don't know how much time I'm going to have to stream every week. I would love to be able to keep being as consistent with my schedule as I have been, even if I don't necessarily think that Fallout is the direction to go. It'd be really awesome if I could continue to stream 6 days a week, 3 hours a day. But I don't know if that's even going to be on the horizon here, and I'm fairly certain it's not going to be a relatively simple thing to do, even if I were able to do something like that. I'm fairly certain it's not going to be as easy as all of that, but it means the world to me that you guys have been watching. That was super strange. I have no idea what happened there. Absolutely no idea what happened there, but it sounds like we're back, which is nice. Sorry about that. Very, very sorry about that. I have absolutely no idea what happened with the audio. It kind of just broke there for a second. I hope I didn't. I hope I didn't cut out when I was saying something important. Yeah, I hope not. I hope we're still good here. I hope we're still good. Seems like we are. Seems like all the audio is back. Let me know on your end if you guys are having any trouble at all. But seems like we're doing all right. That'll be interesting for me to cut out of the VOD when we're done with all of this. But the short of it, what I was trying to say before we had a whole bunch of audio difficulties there, is that I feel like this is the direction I'm supposed to go. I feel like this is the calling that I have, and I want to bring you guys along for the ride if you guys are interested in joining me. I don't know how often I will be able to stream. I still want to stream daily. I still want to be as consistent with providing content for you guys as I can. I do not believe that Fallout is the way for me to do that right now, because the amount of time and energy that it takes for me to do that, and the amount of back-end work that goes into it, all the planning I have to do for the next bit, all of the rendering and uploading that needs to get done, depending on the game, the rendering can take longer or can take shorter because of the amount of information that needs to be rendered at the same time. A very graphically intensive game is going to take a lot more work for my graphics card to render than a simpler game, say a Minecraft or the Pokemon games. When we streamed all the Pokemon, stuff for Pokemon Red or Coromon. That stuff was not nearly as graphically intensive as Fallout has ended up being, or GTA can be at times, or the Arkham games were for a short period. So I don't know, and the more back-end work that takes, the longer it takes for me to render those videos, the longer it takes for me to upload them, and then I can't get to bed until like midnight at the earliest. And then I have to get up early in the morning and get all of my stuff taken care of throughout the day, and then I stream, and then the cycle continues. And if I can't put any time into working on the videos for Catechesis Craft in the background, alongside all of the streaming stuff, then I won't ever get anywhere with this, and I feel like I will be missing an opportunity here to do something that I feel called to do, and that would be worse. That would be so much worse for me, because I would not only would I be not providing the best thing that I could provide for you guys, but I also wouldn't be providing the thing that I feel like I'm supposed to be providing to everybody else. So yeah, it's a lot, and I've basically just been sitting here thinking about this for the last 2 weeks while I've been getting over being sick. I can still feel it a little bit in the back of my throat, which is why I've been coughing, for instance. All right, there we go. And a little bit of mucus come up at that one, which is fun. I'm sure you guys wanted to hear that. But it has been a lot that I have been working on in the background for all of this, and hopefully the first video will show up soon. Soon here. My goal for the first video for Catechesis Craft is I would love to be able to have the first video go up on September 1st, and I want it to be a very simple: who was Jesus Christ? What is the historic evidence for Jesus existing? Who do the Christians claim him to be? And why and why it matters who Jesus was. I want to be able to explain all of that stuff. It sounds rather simple when I just say it like that. And my goal is to make it simple, but there is so much more that needs to be said about who Jesus was than just those simple things there. Hopefully that video comes out on September 1st, though. That is the goal. I'd love to get it out on the 1st of September, and then hope at least one other video in the month of September. If I can start off strong with 2 videos a month, then I'll have started off really well. That would be very nice. But there's a lot that goes into it, and I've already done a significant amount of work, but I've also gone ahead and needed to prep for other videos. For instance, one of them, which I don't know when it'll be coming out, but one of the videos out there is titled, well, what is religion? And why does it matter what religion is described as? What does a religion need to have in order to be considered a religion? And why is a religion different than just having, a community or a spiritual experience or any of the more diluted terms that you can hear in the world today? So, certainly among certain Christian groups, there's a common phrase out there that's, I have a relationship, not a religion, when it comes to being certain types of Christians, which is a massive misconception I'll eventually get to when it comes to all these videos. But that is it. I think that the channel banner does the best description that I can give it for what this channel's supposed to be. It is that simple. The channel is about talking about Christianity, and I want to play Minecraft while I do it. And it's that simple. It's that simple. That's basically it. I know I just spent an hour, more or less. Outside of touring the Minecraft server, I did spend close to an hour explaining to you guys what this channel's about. But the channel banner is the simplest answer as to what we are working on with this channel. So hopefully this goes well and provides a massive tool for a lot of people be able to utilize. If it can just teach one person one thing that they didn't know about Christians beforehand, then it will have done its job. But I don't know how long that will take, and I don't know how much time it will take out of my ability to make other stuff like the streaming stuff, which I have loved doing for all of you guys. I've had some great conversations with you guys. It's always wonderful to see my regulars come join me for each stream. It means the world to me that you guys have been watching so long as you have. And today is not going to be a full 3-hour stream because there's so much work I need to do in the background for this channel, and I am hoping to be able to stream tomorrow. The goal is to stream tomorrow, but the practicality of that goal I do not know right now. I've got so many things in the works, and I've got several resources that I've ordered online that will be coming in. I'm going to be checking those out. If they're good resources, I'm going to use them for the work. If they're not good resources, then okay, $20 is $20. But at the end of the day, if it, a $20 material that I have to get rid of, then okay, that happens sometimes. But I want to be able to dedicate a lot of time and effort into this. So hopefully you guys will come along for the ride. Hopefully you guys will stick with me through all of this, because I have, man, it's really difficult to explain this in a way that doesn't sound very esoteric if my audience is not an audience that already is a deeply religious audience. And I don't know the religious beliefs of any of you out there. You guys don't have to tell me. That's not why I'm doing any of this. I'm not trying to oh, well, you're not a Christian, you're not allowed to watch me, something like that. No. But when I try and explain the process, how deeply impactful the last couple of weeks have been to me trying to figure out the direction I want to take my life has been, it can sound very schizophrenic. It can also sound very esoteric and just sort of aloof, and that's also not the goal. I'm not trying to say, oh, well, I have a calling now, and so I'm better than everybody. No, of course not. Of course not. That's the last thing I want this to come off as, because if anything is true, I generally consider myself to be less than a lot of my peers. Probably not a good thing, but it's certainly not bad for me to put, what am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say is the goal is not for this to be, an ego stroking exercise. I don't think that I am the ultimate voice in Christian topics. My goal is not to tell you, if you don't believe things that I believe, then you're evil. My goal is simply to explain what I believe and to explain what a bunch of Christians believe. Even if I don't agree with those Christians, I want to be able to explain what they believe so that you can understand what they believe, and so that it's not as confusing to a lot of people as it can be, both in the faith and outside of the faith. Okay, that's about an hour 12 is how long this stream has been. It's about an hour of me yapping about this stuff. My voice is not all the way there yet, as I'm sure you guys can hear right now. I can feel it in the back of my throat right now. I don't know how much more talking I can do before I end up losing my voice again. So hopefully I don't lose my voice a ton. Hopefully I'm still good by the end of the night. But for now, I am going to go ahead and cut this stream here. I'm gonna make sure to cut out whatever that weird part was for a couple minutes where the audio clipped out, whatever that was. It just sort of I don't even know what to describe. It just kind of broke there for a second, and I had to restart my audio system to go ahead and get everything back in order. But we're gonna end all that kind of stuff there. What I'm trying to say is thank you guys so much for watching this very, very short stream that really had no, interesting things going on in terms of gameplay or progress or anything like that. Did a little bit of Minecraft, but that was more so just to go ahead and talk about a couple things and to get you guys to show up for a little bit and hopefully hook you in with some of the things that I wanted to talk about here. If you'd like to follow over here on CN Games, I do still plan to upload VODs over. Oh man, not again. I do still plan to upload VODs over here. I'm definitely going to still be playing games, playing Fallout, playing Minecraft, playing GTA, playing a bunch of stuff. It's just not going to be 6 days a week because I need to be able to put the time and energy into this other work that I don't right now have for both at the same time. This isn't what the meaning of the phrase is intended to mean, but man cannot serve two masters. I would rather put all of my energy into what I genuinely believe God is asking of me, and the direction that my life is being aimed at, instead of trying to hold on to something like putting out 6 streams a week and playing Fallout for 18 hours a week or something like that. I'd rather work on this, no matter how uncertain I am about how successful it may be, because I genuinely believe this is what I'm being asked to do. So hopefully you guys would come along for the ride. If you would like to do so, the VOD in the description of this VOD will be a link to the well, it won't be the link, it'll just be the channel name for Catechesis Craft. We don't have any videos up there right now. But if you'd like to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you're ready for when the first video comes out, head on over there and do so. Hopefully I'll see a lot of you over there, because it's meant the world to me that you guys would be joining me for as long as you have already. Hopefully I can return that favor by providing something that is useful to you, or that is a great tool to explain something to you. If it doesn't end up changing your mind about becoming a Christian, then okay. As long as I was able to explain something to you, I hope I've done my job. But right now, I need to go and rest my voice. I need to go and write some more stuff for my first script for that channel. And I need to go ahead and do a bunch of research for the other scripts that I've got working right now. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys very soon. Hopefully sooner rather than later, but soon nonetheless. Soon in the biblical sense, which will hopefully become funny for a lot of you later. But yes, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you whenever I see you, approximately one of the bat times, but definitely the same bat channel. All right, have a good one.